We're here with Joe Benitez, the creator of Lady Mechanika and the illustrator for the Emerald City Comic Con t-shirt this year. Thanks a lot for joining us.
My pleasure.
So, I guess the question is, where did Lady Mechanika come from?
The idea or the concept was actually in 2010 when I attended Dragon Con in Atlanta. I mean, I've seen steampunk before.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been, you know, when you go to cons, you can't help but, you know, see the cosplayers walking around. But that particular year at Dragon Con, the contingency and it was more concentrated. There was so much of it, and it's like, you know, I had my camera, started taking pictures and doodling, and it's just like, wow, that would make a cool comic, that look, or, you know, and took a, you know, I started developing something, and I went to MegaCon the year after, and again, that, you know, the steampunk community was really strong there, so that's when it just solidified. It's like, okay, I got to do my steampunk book, and I went, and I had my doodles, and I looked online. I, you know, Googled steampunk, and all these amazing pictures and elements came up, and I just sort of took little bits and pieces that I liked and sort of threw it in my pot and of collective pot, and just, you know, that's what came out, you know.
So what is it that you, I mean, that's the aesthetic of it, the visuals. What do you enjoy about the writing aspect of it?
That I can tell the story the way I want to tell it. It's that I have ultimate say in the direction of the story. It's like, like I have set parameters, but I like that I can be very organic and flexible with the story. If a story dictates, you know, to go this way instead of that way, I'm not restricted with that. You know, I can just go and, hey, do a whole book on, or a whole issue dealing with one subject that, you know, that I would not normally have done. And it's just like, I like the freedom and creative freedom, and just the ability to just create and do whatever I want.
Well, and you're also handling the art chores, right?
I do the penciling. Peter Steigerwald does the coloring on it. Yeah.
So how is that, you know, is that something that you normally do? Do you normally do just writing and arting? Wow, bad English. Do you normally do writing and the art on your projects, or is this something that you're really working with on Mechanika?
Coming up with Top Cow, we sort of got into the habit of working with the creators, with the writers. It was always something, there was an interactive, a lot of interaction there. And a lot of times, you know, we fed off each other, and, you know, they had ideas, we had ideas, we sort of all mixed it up. And the thing is, I've done this before. I've worked where I've helped plot the story, but I've never actually scripted the story. Right. So it's like, this is the first time that I'm actually deciding what ultimately ends up on the paper, on the page. You know, it's like, before, it's like I'm beholden to a writer. It's like, you know, I might have a scene that's like, and in my mind, okay, this is what they said, and then the writer does what the writer wants with the story, and it's like, it's not exactly how I pictured it, envisioned it. This time, it's like, I know what I have in my head, I know what I want to get on paper, and at the end of the day, it's like, whatever ends up on the pages of Mechanika, it's like, I decided, you know, that's what I wanted to have it say, you know.
Now, how far out do you have Lady Mechanika plotted?
Well, this arc, well, I mean, honestly, Lady Mechanika, I've structured it so we can have, like, pretty much an infinite amount of stories. Or, I mean, you know, she's very versatile, and the thing is, the story we're telling right now is a segment of her life that, you know, we haven't touched on any of her past, you know, her past exploits. You know, in the book, I've established that she has, she's very grounded and very, she's well known. She has her own myth, and people know her for, you know, she's a legend in her own, you know, her time. So it's like, so people have written these fictions about her, you know. I took that from, like, the Wild West, you know, while Jesse James was doing his deeds, there was fiction, you know, Billy the Kid, people would make these incredible stories, and it's like I just thought that was kind of interesting to have that, where it's like this character in her time, she's moving around and doing all her things, and there's this preconceived idea of who she is because of the fiction that's been around, so it whatchamacallit, so it creates this persona, and the thing is, I have stories that I want to tell before the arc I'm doing, and I have stories. I pretty much know where she's going to end up, but as far as this arc, I know where I want to take it. If anything, it's like I actually had to deviate because it's like the story was becoming a little too big, and I was getting away from the core purpose of the story, and that's what I'm doing right now, is just trying to concentrate it a little bit and have the story be a little bit more focused on the theme or the topic, which was the mystery of the mechanical corpse. It's like I was getting away from that mystery or that, so it's like we're gonna just solve this, find out what happens to the girl, and then after that, we'll see.
How long do you think this arc's gonna end up being?
Probably 6 issues, 6 or 7. It's like I said, it's like that's what I'm planning, but you never know. All of a sudden, it's like I might have a whole issue deal with a dream or something. It just like it all depends on
Well, that's the nice thing about being the creator and being in control.
But it also, the problem is, I want to make sure that the story's actually cohesive,
right,
and makes sense. I don't want it, ending and people going like, "Whoa, what was that?" So it's like I got to make sure that it gels well and that it has a good flow. And if anything, I'm, when we do the trade, I still have the urge to go back and redo pages. To me, it's actually G.I. Joe 21. The
silent issue, right?
Silent issue. It's like, as far as comics go, it's like that being a teenager, being I think 13, 14-year-old kid, and picking up that, and again, as a kid, I loved G.I. Joe, and having Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes in the same comic, and then having just the thing is, as I've gotten older and as I've matured as an artist, I've appreciated the actual storytelling. It's like you could tell. I think if anything, that's a lesson to a lot of the up and coming artists, is that you need to be able to tell a story with no words. Like if that's a mark of a really good storyteller, that someone can pick up a book without any dialogue and understand what's going on. And that's our craft. That's what we're trying to do, is where our whole purpose is to tell stories. And that book was, I ended up working with Larry Hama on G.I. Joe 19, the new, I think it was 19. And that was a silent issue too. And that was one of the things that I really wanted to do, is work on a silent Snake Eyes book, because it's like, so yeah, that's one of the books that always or is a big staple or milestone, I guess, or in my comic book career.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and all the best to you.
Thank you very much.